Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to be diving into something really personal and something that really changed my whole perspective on life, right? How I went from being overly emotional, overwhelmed on a daily basis, having a scattered mind, to ultimately finding peace and finding clarity on a daily basis, just being an overall happy person on a daily basis. If you guys want to find out how to do that, watch till the end of the video. I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. Not too long ago, I was in a place where I was triggered all the time. I would let the smallest arguments get to me. Even if I'm driving on the road, I would let someone's actions outside of me control how I felt. That didn't vibe with me at all. I wasn't in a space where I wanted to be that type of person. I went on a little research journey. I went on a journey whereby I tried to find out how could I become an emotionally stable individual on a daily basis, whereby anything that could happen on the outside of me wouldn't really affect me on a day-to-day basis, like from the morning till the evening, whether you spending your day at home, whether you going to work. I wanted to just be a holistically, I won't say sane, but a holistically emotionally stable person, right? I'm going to give you the exact steps that I took in order for you to also kind of harbor that kind of inner peace, and for you to also kind of find clarity in your everyday life. All right, let's get to it. My own personal background, whereby I was addicted to hard drugs for like the better part of like 4 or 5 years. I used to drink a lot. I used to drink on a daily basis. I used to smoke a lot of weed as well. So there was times, kind of phases in my life, and then obviously I went into the phase where I was on completely hard drugs, like I was on meth, I was on cocaine, things of that nature, and it got to the point where I had to really sit down and reevaluate my direction that I was taking, because it wasn't a direction that ultimately that I liked, and it's something that I wanted to change on a daily basis. Right now, we're sitting 5+ years clean, um, finding inner peace, finding emotional stability, finding kind of purpose in my day to day life as well. Okay, let's get into the science behind emotional regulation, right? Emotions on their own come from a part of your brain called the limbic system. So, the limbic system is a part of your brain that controls how you feel on a daily basis. That system is controlled ultimately by your amygdala. So, for a side note, the smaller your amygdala, the less reactive you live on a daily basis, the less overwhelm you feel, the less reactive you feel to situations on a daily basis. So, small amygdala equals happy life. You can think of that part of your brain as kind of your alarm system. That's the part of your brain that lets you enter into fight or flight. And for the most part, a lot of people live in fight or flight every single day, like 24/7. They never actually come out of that state. Once your amygdala is basically set off like an alarm system, your body first goes into fight or flight and ultimately responds by gushing out loads of amounts of cortisol. A person with high amounts of cortisol, you'll notice, is a person that gets overwhelmed very easily. I was that type of person. I was that type of person for many, many years. Even as something that's not even externally, something like a thought would just trigger me. It took a lot of kind of understanding to get to the point where I could say, you know what, something has to change. There's more to life than feeling overwhelmed 24/7, right? You want to know the cool part about it? Because it's in your brain, it's definitely something that can be overridden. So you can override the amygdala by doing certain things on a daily basis. Okay? We're going to get into that, so stay tuned, subscribe, like if this is your kind of content, and let's get into that part of it. So the first thing that I got into, right, and this was one of the more important ones, naming the way that I feel. So kind of giving it less control than it has to have, just because that it's flooding my body. I need to own this feeling that's flooding my body, but you don't really have to. Your feelings and your thoughts aren't asking for an audience. You're giving it the audience by choosing to respond to it. So the first trick would be to name whatever you're feeling. So as you go through your day and you're feeling not so good, like you're feeling out of alignment, first of all, take a second to pause and name what you're feeling. So whether it's sadness, anxiety, even if it's anger, um, try and take a second to name it. What that does is, by naming it, you take away the power it has emotionally from you. It's like kind of shining. Let's say you're sitting in a dark room, right? And you have a flashlight and you hear something move like to the left of you. Naming your emotion is kind of like pointing the flashlight at it. So it's kind of bringing it out of the darkness and into the light. So that's one of the things that kind of set me onto a path whereby once I started doing that for like a week or 2 weeks, I started to realize, hey, these emotions don't really have such a harmful impact on me. And then I started to realize, you know what, I could actually go about changing this. So that leads me on to point number two. This is where it starts to get a little bit crazy. So you kind of start, you need to reframe what you're going through. So don't look at challenges in your life as something that you're going through. Look at challenges in your life from a point of, what is this trying to teach me? It can be anything that you're going through. There's always a lesson to be learned in anything that you're going through. And a lot of people like to get into a victim mentality about it. So they'll say, you know what, I'm going through this. This is so hard. This is so, I can't handle this. And so and so and so. But there comes a point where once you start to reframe it, you start to flip the script and say, what is this trying to teach me? What is the benefit that I can take from this? And what can I learn from this situation? You change the whole narrative inside of your head, and that's the most powerful thing that you can do, because your whole external world starts internally. So everything on the outside comes from choices you've made in the past. So your current reality is choices you've made before this day going backwards. And your future reality is going to be based off of how you make the choices you make from this day, from this moment on. So, from this exact moment, any choice can set you on a different path. It's a really powerful thing to reframe your narrative around situations. Another really important thing that I've learned how to do is expressing myself. So, expressing myself in terms of emotional release, whether that'll be journaling, whether that'll be even crying it out sometimes, guys. Sometimes you gotta cry it out, and that's the only way you can change. You have to feel what you need to feel in order to move past it.
Here.
You hear?
And turn to the right side over here.
Okay. So, something that I also like to do is journaling. So, writing out the things that I'm feeling. Writing things out uncensored, unfiltered, those things can really have an impact on your perspective, because now, instead of it all being bundled up here in your head, you're now taking it, putting it onto a physical place. So it's not inside here anymore, it's now outside onto something. So whether it's words, whether it's drawing, painting, whatever you feel like you need to do to express yourself, do that. And do it with utmost presence and to the most emotional intensity you can do that.
Today is Christmas Day. Tomorrow?
Ah,
No, Christmas Day when the present is here.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not Christmas. Tomorrow's like 7 months from now.
No!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. And lastly, what I have for you is that prevention is always better than cure. Start a morning practice, whether that's mindfulness, whether that's writing a gratitude journal, Also, sleep is very important, guys. Sleep is one of the most important things that you can give yourself. A good night of rest can save you a lot of anxiety the next day. A lot of it. Having a good sleep schedule, having a good diet, and having a good way to express yourself and a good way to bring silence into your daily practice. Those four things are going to help you live immensely more happy. If there's anything else that you guys might think of, feel free to share some comments down below. Always open to you guys letting me know what's powerful, what's worked for you. These are the things that's helped me kind of reclaim my power over my life. I know these kinds of seem kind of simple, but at the end of the day, it always goes back to basics, especially in terms of your inner reality. You want to kind of go to a place that isn't very complicated, like quit the analysis paralysis, quit searching and searching and searching for an answer. Sit down in silence, you have all the answers there waiting for you to hear them. None of these things are actually picked up through watching 1,000 kinds of videos. Most of these things I picked up through sitting with myself, through doing what I felt could be right, managing that, refining that so it fits me perfectly, and then moving on from that and building on top of each habit. So here's my challenge to you. From today, the moment you feel overwhelmed, pause. Name it. Once you name it, have a way to express it at the end of the day. Once you express it, have a moment of silence for yourself and watch how your life changes, guys. Watch your life take off. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if this is your type of content. I will be popping out more videos in more timely manner, so watch out for those. I'm full of love for you guys. I have a bunch of courses on my Discord as well. You can join the free community. I'm always going to be putting stuff on there for you guys. Let me know what the next video should be about. I have something really nice coming out in the next video. So please like, subscribe, don't forget to comment, share this with someone maybe that might need it. Much peace, much love, guys.